Whenever you say Spider-Man, you always mean the other one. You're Spider-Man. You can fix this. Your way.
Hey, welcome to Attack the Stack. If you like that, try this. Batman Arkham is a series of action-adventure games developed by Rocksteady Studios and WB Games Montreal and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. The first two Rocksteady games were written by veteran Batman writer Paul Dini and featured voice actors Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill reprising their roles as Batman and the Joker respectively from the DC animated universe. The continuity established by the games is often referred to as the Arkhamverse and is part of the larger DC multiverse. The Arkham games depict Batman's conflict with various supervillains from his rogues gallery, primarily his archenemy, the Joker. The main installments in the Batman Arkham series have been met with widespread critical acclaim, with praise for their narratives, voice acting, world design, graphics, gameplay systems, and design, along with faithfulness to the source material. If you've been keeping up with Insomniac and Sony's Spider-Man games, including Miles Morales, you'll already know that they were heavily inspired by the Arkham series of games, so it should go without saying that these games are more than worth checking out, and I personally prefer them a bit over the Spider-Man games. Oh shit. Sunset Overdrive is an action-adventure shooter game developed by Insomniac Games and published by Microsoft Studios. The game is set in 2027 in a fictional metropolis called Sunset City. The player controls an employee of Fizco who has to fight off the OD, short for overcharged drinkers, humans who have turned into mutants after drinking Fizco's energy drink beverage. In the dystopian Sunset City, the player character can wall run, use zip lines, and grind rails to swiftly navigate through it, with a large arsenal of weapons to use. The game also has a cooperative multiplayer mode called Chaos Squad, which tasks players to complete a series of missions with 7 players. As the game puts emphasis on momentum, the game does not feature any cover system. Insomniac described the game as a celebration of games, as the team took inspiration from different sources including Prince of Persia, Jet Set Radio, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, though at its early stage of development the team took inspiration from DayZ instead. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic future, but the team depicted it as an awesome apocalypse that turns the game's initial world depiction into a playground for players. The game received generally positive reviews with praise for its visuals, traversal system, combat system, and humor. It received numerous nominations, including Best Xbox Game of the Year awards from several different gaming publications. This is the first open-world action game from Insomniac, and in addition to the similarities, you can see a lot of what they learned put into play in the original Spider-Man game from them and Miles Morales. Infamous Second Son is an action-adventure game developed by Sucker Punch Productions and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It is the third installment in the Infamous series. The story follows protagonist Delsin Rowe fighting the Department of Unified Protection, or DUP, in a fictionalized Seattle. Infamous Second Son is set in an open-world environment. Delsin Rowe's superpowers were designed to feel fluid and suited to the open-world design. Delsin is a conduit, which allows him to use superpower abilities by manipulating materials such as smoke, neon, video, and concrete. These materials can be weaponized or used to deftly navigate the game world. Players may choose to act in either a good or evil way. Players' choices influence outcomes in some later missions. Delsin's combat choices manifest in a logo displayed on his jacket and on the HUD, which features a blue or red bird, for good or evil respectively. Performing actions that are villainous or heroic gradually change the logo. As his karma level increases, Delsin can acquire new powers that correspond to his playstyle. A continual streak of either good or evil actions fills up a bar in the HUD, which then lets Delsin perform a powerful finishing move called a Karma Bomb. When not completing story missions, players can explore the city and complete activities such as tagging graffiti spots or assassinating DUP secret agents. The city is split into districts that are all initially controlled by the DUP, but Delsin gradually liberates each district by completing activities. Infamous Second Son was met with generally positive reviews. Critics praise its gameplay, dynamic combat, visuals, and design. It may not be based on a famous superhero character, but Second Son can stand toe-to-toe with all the giants in the genre, trust me.
Bring it!
LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2 is a LEGO-themed action-adventure game developed by Traveler's Tales and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. It is the third installment in the LEGO Marvel franchise. LEGO Marvel Super Hero 2's storyline centers around superheroes from different eras and realities of the Marvel Universe as they fight against the time-traveling villain Kang the Conqueror in a battle across space and time. The game features a similar gameplay to its predecessors and other LEGO video games. New additions include alternating between various action-adventure sequences and puzzle-solving scenarios. The game features the ability to manipulate time and a 4-player competitive superhero battle mode. Much like the 2 previous LEGO Marvel games, players are able to take control of a roster of iconic characters from the Marvel Universe, each with their own unique abilities. The game also features characters from different time periods and realities over the Marvel Universe, which includes Spider-Gwen, a cowboy version of Captain America, a medieval counterpart of Hulk, and many others. In addition, the game also features variations of sundry characters like Iron Duck, who is merely Howard the Duck wearing Iron Man's armor, and Carnum, a fusion of the Venom symbiote and the Carnage symbiote that is exclusive to the game. While some characters are just based on the comic books, others have their visuals taken from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Using the ability to manipulate time, the players can change the look and abilities of certain characters. For instance, they can take Baby Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and move time forward for him to become his adult version. And Spider-Man can go both ways with his Noir and 2099 counterparts. This game's great for all ages, so long as you help the little ones out from time to time with some of the trickier puzzles. Prototype 2 is an open-world action-adventure game developed by Canadian studio Radical Entertainment and published by Activision. The game features a new protagonist, James Heller, as he goes on a quest to destroy the Blacklight virus. The story is one of revenge, as Heller wants to kill Alex Mercer, protagonist of the original Prototype, after his family was killed in the outbreak of the Blacklight virus. Heller has superhuman strength and agility, near invulnerability to harm, near flight leaping and gliding, infinite stamina, increased speed, and has a sonar sense. Powers are more meaningful, appearing as mutations and upgrades that let players decide how they want to play as Heller. To give gamers more power in the game, the developers have added tendrils. Tendrils sprout from Heller's arm and can be used for a variety of purposes. Players can use tendrils to smash objects into other objects, such as a car into a tank, or utilizing the black hole attack. Players will be able to dismember enemies, a force that will become more useful as the game progresses. There are many more ways to kill enemies, ranging from throwing a car at a group of Blackwatch soldiers, hacking off a mutant's head, or using powers. This one's a little less kid-friendly, but fun nonetheless.
Played that day in my head 1,000 times. The Avengers take the fall despite saving the day.
Marvel's Avengers is an action role-playing brawler game developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Square Enix's European subsidiary. The game is mainly inspired by the Marvel Cinematic Universe's iteration of the group, but also incorporates elements of the team's long-running comic book mythology. The plot follows Inhuman teenager Kamala Khan, who gains superpowers during A-Day, a celebratory day for the Avengers which ends in a tragedy following a terrorist attack. Blamed for the disaster, the Avengers disband and allow Science Corporation, AIM, or AIM, to take their place. 5 years later, when AIM threatens to eliminate all superpowered individuals, Kamala embarks on a quest to reassemble Earth's mightiest heroes to combat this new enemy. The game is played from a third-person perspective and has both single-player and multiplayer modes. It features an online co-op mode, allowing players to assemble a team of heroes of their own. The initial roster consisted of Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, and Ms. Marvel, with more characters being added in free post-launch updates, which also added story expansions and new regions to be explored. Each hero possesses a variety of costume customization features, as well as the capacity to upgrade their powers and abilities using a skill tree. Critics praised its combat and story. Peter Parker's Spider-Man is currently planned to come exclusively to the PlayStation version of this game sometime later this year or maybe next, but no word on Miles Morales, yet. Fingers crossed. Gravity Rush 2 is an action-adventure game. It was developed by Japan Studios' Team Gravity division and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. The game follows Kat, a gravity-shifting teenage girl and superheroine, after she is drawn from her home of Hexaville into another universe and must liberate the citizens of Jurga Paralau from its evil rulers. The core mechanic of the game is the player's ability to manipulate gravity, allowing unique movements and navigation. Players are able to choose among 3 gravity styles, the original style from the first game, Lunar, and Jupiter. Lunar is light and increases Kat's speed and her ability to jump higher. Jupiter makes Kat feel heavy, giving her attacks more impact. Players can change between gravity styles using the touchpad. The new city in the game is more lively and colorful, and Kat is able to chat with the city's inhabitants, throw gang signs. Yeah, you heard that right. Gotta love Japanese game developers. And people will react organically. Environments are also destructible. The Navy returned in Gravity Rush 2, along with other enemies such as human soldiers, some of whom operate combat mechs. As Gravity Rush 2 has 3 times the amount of missions than its predecessor, the game is between 20 to 40 hours long. The game map is 2.5 times larger than the one from the original. This is one of last generation's hidden gems, no doubt. The aerial traversal mechanics in this game can rival Marvel's Spider-Man and Miles Morales any day. Go ahead, see for yourself.
A few years ago, this broken-ass system marked me as a criminal risk, linked me to some shit I didn't even do because it was probable.
Once in the system, always in the system.
Watch Dogs 2 is an action-adventure game developed by Ubisoft Montreal and published by Ubisoft. Set within a fictionalized version of the San Francisco Bay Area, the game is played from a third-person perspective and its open world is navigated on foot or by vehicle. Players control Marcus Holloway, a hacker who works with the hacking group DedSec, to take down the city's advanced surveillance system known as CTOS. There are multiple ways to complete missions, and each successful assignment increases the follower count of DedSec. Cooperative multiplayer allows for competitive one-on-one combat and connecting with other players to neutralize a player who is causing havoc. Real hackers were consulted to validate scripts and game mechanics for authenticity, and references to real-life hacktivism were fictionalized, like the Project Chronology protest. The game was released to overall positive reception from critics, which praised the game for improving upon the original Watch Dogs in areas like the hacking, setting, characters, and driving. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is an American computer-animated superhero film featuring Miles Morales himself, produced by Columbia Pictures and Sony Pictures Animation in association with Marvel. Distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing, it is the first animated film in the Spider-Man franchise. Can you believe that? Set in a shared multiverse called the Spider-Verse, the film's story follows Miles Morales of Earth 1610 as he becomes the new Spider-Man and joins other Spider-People from various dimensions to save New York City from the Kingpin. The film has a unique style, combining computer animation with traditional hand-drawn comic book techniques, inspired by the work of Miles Morales' co-creator, Sarah Pichelli. The film required up to 140 animators, the largest crew used by Sony Pictures Animation on a feature film ever. The film received universal acclaim with praise for its animation, characters, story, voice acting, humor, visuals, and soundtrack. The film won numerous awards including Best Animated Feature at the 91st Academy Awards, 46th Annie Awards, and 76th Golden Globe Awards. It is the first non-Disney Pixar film to win Academy Award for Best Animated Feature since Rango back in 2011, as well as the first non-Disney Pixar film since Happy Feet back in 2006 to win that award when a Disney or Pixar film was also in contention. Bam! This movie's a sunflower. If you've seen the movie, you get it, but if not, look at the trailer. Look at the trailer. I love it. And if all of that wasn't enough to fulfill your Miles Morales fix, I got a few more for you in the TV department. First up, Miles Morales made his animated debut in the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series. After being alluded to in the first season, Miles is introduced in the third season, 4-part episode, The Spider-Verse. Miles returns as a recurring character in the fourth season, during which he gets stranded in Peter's universe, joined by the Web Warriors, and took on the alias Kid Arachnid. Miles Morales also appears in Marvel Superhero Adventures. Lastly, Miles Morales next appears in Spider-Man the Animated Series from 2017. He's introduced as a normal teenager but obtains his abilities in the Season 1 episode Ultimate Spider-Man, after which Peter Parker mentors him. And done. But hopefully not for long. I, like so many of you, would love nothing more than to see this character a lot more than we already have. But I think the future looks bright for the character. What can I say? My spidey sense is tingling. Anyways, that's all for this video. This is your friendly internet neighborhood content creator of all the things you love, like the things you love, signing out. Until next time. If you liked the video or it helped you out, click the thumbs up button below. It really helps us out. If you think it could help others, share it. Of course, subscribe for more content like this and more. And if you have anything to add to our list, feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching and keep attacking.